If you try to study for competitive exams by memorizing every headline as an isolated fact, the sheer volume of data will eventually bury you. Modern examiners have moved away from rewarding simple recall. They design questions to test your ability to synthesize context and find the hidden connective tissue between seemingly random events. To beat this format, we are going to take the scattered headlines of late March and April 2026 and translate them into a syllabus matrix, mapping raw news directly into economy, governance, science, and static GK. Organizing the news by its underlying systemic purpose turns overwhelming trivia into a predictable, logical blueprint for the exam room. This chart tracks the February 2026 Index of Industrial Production, showing a marginal uptick from 5.1% to 5.2%. However, the capital goods sector recorded a massive 12.5% surge, a 9-month high, while sectors like electricity slowed. This spike indicates that companies are buying the heavy machinery and industrial components needed to expand. This demand is the primary driver of the broader manufacturing sector, representing 78% of total IIP. For industrial expansion, the economy requires a banking sector capable of providing consistent, low-risk capital. To maintain liquidity, the Lok Sabha passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill. This legislation targets the bad loans that prevent banks from funding new projects. For the exam, note the new mandatory timeline. The law requires the admission of insolvency applications within exactly 14 days once a default is established. This creditor and control model is the mechanism designed to recover trapped capital, like the 4.11 lakh crore rupees already reclaimed. Freeing up these non-performing assets ensures banks can continue to finance the surge in industrial machinery. Managing an economy of this scale requires precise demographic data. Census 2027 marks a major administrative milestone as India's first fully digital census. This timeline tracks Phase 1, the housing census, running April to September 2026 for infrastructure like water, electricity, and sanitation. First, a self-enumeration portal lets citizens log data in 16 languages over 15 days, before the 30-day physical collection. Phase 2, the population enumeration, begins in February 2027. This stage captures individual demographics, such as age, migration patterns, and caste enumeration. Moving to a digital-first approach allows for real-time data uploads and significantly fewer errors. The resulting dataset will dictate economic policy and resource distribution for the next 10 years. While governance settles on Earth, space exploration enters a new phase. NASA scheduled the Artemis II launch for April 2026, the first crewed mission to the Moon's vicinity since the Apollo era ended 5 decades ago. The primary vehicle for this mission is the Space Launch System, or SLS. It is the most powerful rocket ever built. This orbital map illustrates the mission profile. After a translunar injection, the spacecraft enters a free return trajectory. This figure-8 path naturally returns the crew to Earth if engines fail. The crew, including Commander Reed Wiseman and mission specialist Christina Koch, will test deep space navigation systems. They return to Earth inside the Orion spacecraft, designed to survive high-speed atmospheric re-entry before splashing down. Parallel to these space missions, India is expanding its own scientific initiatives, from the AP Science City MOU for STEM outreach to the upcoming Pharma 2026 conference. Whether it is validating long-duration life support on Orion or the pharmaceutical R&D occurring in India, these events serve as critical proof-of-concept tests for the systems needed in the 2030s. To finish the matrix, we need the facts of static GK. First, the Queen of Beverages. This title belongs to tea, the second most consumed liquid on Earth after water. Distinguish between production and consumption. China accounts for over 40% of global production, but Turkey holds the record for per capita consumption, with citizens drinking 14.7 kilograms per year. Finally, geography. The world's smallest island is Just Room Enough Island in New York. At 3,300 square feet, the land is completely occupied by a single house and one tree. Mastering these isolated facts relies on associating the data with clear, distinct visual anchors. Success in competitive exams requires treating the syllabus as a series of interconnected gears. Digital census data informs banking policy, which clears the path for industrial manufacturing, which in turn supports scientific leaps. Examiners are screening for candidates who recognize this systemic machinery, rather than those who simply memorize dates and acronyms. Test this framework yourself using the quiz and the full syllabus matrix PDF linked in the description. Turn your reading into active analysis, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.